6 of the most common symptoms I hear about from women with Hashimoto's. One is, of course, fatigue. There's weight resistance, brain fog, hair loss, constipation, feeling cold all the time. These are all super, super common in women with hypothyroidism and or Hashimoto's. And you've been told that these are all just your thyroid, and some of them are, and some of them are never going to be fully fixed by your thyroid. Today, let's sort them, thyroid or immune. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition. That means your immune system is attacking your thyroid. But knowing that is only the beginning. This summer series is built in 3 phases. Phase 1 was understanding what's happening in your body. Phase 2 is learning how to think about what you're learning. And phase 3 is building your own personal discernment framework with support. So most women with Hashimoto's have a lot of information. But what they're missing is a filter, a way to evaluate what applies to them specifically. That is what this series is now designed to give you. If you want to start with a foundation, check with the show notes for Hashimoto's Decoded, new name, Hashimoto's Decoded, Thyroid or Immune. In less than 1 hour, I will walk you through the most common root causes and help you identify where to focus. My name is Esther Youngkin. I'm a registered nurse, holistic health educator, and the host of this podcast, Health with Hashimoto's. I believe your health is a blend of 5 interconnected areas: body, mind, spirit, diet, and environment. Let's work through this together. The thyroid or immune bucket framing system makes things a lot easier to think about and to understand what's going on with your health. So in summary, the thyroid bucket is how much your thyroid hormone is impacting every single cell in your body, all of your symptoms, root causes, and everything. Like medication lives in the thyroid bucket. Your immune bucket is why your immune system is attacking the thyroid in the first place. Medication does not live in the immune bucket. So this sorting question comes into play all of the time. It is how my brain thinks about Hashimoto's. And I've only recently started to clarify how my brain thinks on this podcast. So let's talk about the 6 most common symptoms of Hashimoto's and sort them into the 2 buckets. Number 1, cold intolerance. And you feel cold all the time. All the time. I tell my husband that my bones are cold. For me, it happens mostly with my feet. Back before I knew any of this, before I was diagnosed, I was just cold all the time. I still run colder than the rest of my family, but it is not like it used to be. A lot of people with hypothyroidism just feel cold. See, thyroid hormone sets like your thermostat of your entire body. It impacts your metabolism. Your metabolism runs your thermostat. So feeling cold all the time, that is very clearly the thyroid bucket. You are not getting enough thyroid hormone to your cells. Your cells are not having the little ignition switch of your thyroid hormone. You're not heating up. You're not warming up. If you are still cold all the time and you take thyroid medication, that could be a problem related to dosing or conversion. I want to emphasize that last part because most medications, levothyroxine, Synthroid, things like that, are specifically T4 medications. That is the primary hormone that your thyroid produces. It is the inactive form. I have several different episodes about T4 and T3, what they do, what to look for. In essence, the T3 is what your T4 is converted to, and the T3 is like the ignition key of every single cell. If you are still having symptoms, it might not be related to T4 medication. It might be related to how your body converts that T4 to T3. If the conversion is not happening, then we need to work on why that conversion is not happening naturally in your body, and or you need to work with your provider to get on a T3 medication as well. So in summary, cold intolerance, feeling cold all the time, that is the thyroid bucket. And I'm going to have to go a lot faster with the next ones if we're going to get through all 6 in the 10-minute short episodes of the summer. All right, let's talk about constipation. So constipation is typically a thyroid symptom. Your thyroid sets the pace of pretty much everything in your body, including your gut. Your gut tends to slow down when there's not enough thyroid hormone. So that is thyroid bucket. But then when your gut slows down, a huge portion of your immune system, like 70 to 80% of your immune system, lives in and around the gut. So this constipation is going to show up in both the thyroid bucket and the immune bucket. Because when you're constipated, when things are slowing down, that means it's impacting your immune system, which is then impacting your thyroid. So constipation goes in both buckets. What about hair loss? Now, hair loss, let's just go right off of the gut slowing down. When the gut is slowing down, absorption is impacted. Absorption is impacted because most absorption happens in your gut. And like I said, the gut is impacting your immune system. So for hair loss, a lot of the ingredients that you need for, hair, ferritin, zinc, proteins, all of that is related to absorption. So again, hair loss, it's going to go in both buckets. The thyroid hormone does impact your hair growth cycle. When you don't have enough thyroid hormone, you're going to have more hairs in the resting and shedding phases of hair growth. So hair loss is thyroid, absolutely thyroid bucket. But it can also be impacted by the immune bucket. Also, general hair thinning and especially like outer thirds of your eyebrows, things like that are thyroid. If you're getting patches, round patches, or irregular shaped, like bald patches, that is something that you want to talk to your doctor about. That could be alopecia and related to something else. All right, brain fog, huge symptom of Hashimoto's. Your brain needs a lot of energy. Your brain needs a lot of ignition keys. That's thyroid. Inflammation is the immune system. And when you're dealing with a lot of inflammation, that impacts your brain. And so that's the immune side. Brain fog is in both buckets. And this is where people get so confused, or they try different things. Like they're going to try a bunch of stuff into that thyroid bucket. They're going to try the medications, the supplements, things that look at the thyroid bucket and treat the thyroid bucket. And then they don't get fully better and they just feel hopeless. But you have to look at both buckets for brain fog. You're looking at the immune system. You're looking at inflammation overall. You're also looking at thyroid function. So kind of same thing for weight. Of course, with the thyroid side, with the thyroid bucket, you're looking at all of those ignition keys. And when your cells don't have the ignition key, they're not working well. They're not working optimally, which means things are going to slow down. Slowing down is related to metabolism. When your metabolism slows down, you gain weight. You could be eating the same or less than you usually do. You can be working out the same or more than you usually do, and you are still gaining weight or holding on to weight. That's physiology. That is related to your thyroid. That's not willpower. That is not you to be blamed for anything. That's thyroid. But also on the immune bucket, or in the immune bucket, is that inflammation. I'm sure you've seen pictures of people who post their inflamed self and their body and their faces, especially without inflammation. We know that inflammation is tied to weight resistance. So there are both buckets involved here in your weight, the thyroid bucket and the immune bucket. But I want you to know this is not a discipline problem. This is not you at fault for anything. I know you are trying your hardest. Sometimes you just need a little bit more information. You need to know how to sort things so that you can get your body to do what your body is designed to do and what it's supposed to be doing, right? All right, let's move on to number 6, fatigue. This is huge. So much fatigue, so tired like you are walking through mud, or you're trying to function well on cold medicine. Like you're so tired, feel like things are not working well. And of course they're not working well because again, that thyroid hormone, you have less ignition keys. And if you have less ignition keys, then things are going to slow down. And that is the thyroid bucket. This is one of the things that people hope that Synthroid or levothyroxine helps with right away. And for some people it does, and for some people it doesn't. And then we're still looking at the thyroid bucket, but we need to look at conversion. Is conversion happening? Do you have enough free T4? How is that lab value? Do you have enough free T3? What is that lab value like? What is your reverse T3 like? All of those questions are signals of why you are feeling so tired. All of those questions, looking at those labs, help you figure out the thyroid bucket, and they help you figure out, how conversion is happening in your body and whether or not you need more or different medication. Maybe you need a T4, maybe you need more T4, maybe you need a T3. Like I talked about earlier, this is a conversation about the thyroid bucket. And the fatigue, I don't really put very much at all in the immune bucket. I'm looking at fatigue as a thyroid bucket issue. All right, I'm already over 10 minutes. I tried to get through these 6 really quickly, but just know that it's very helpful to sort out your symptoms into the 2 different buckets, thyroid or immune. And if you're dealing with things that are in both buckets, that doesn't mean you're stuck. Quite a few of these symptoms landed in both buckets. And that's not bad news. It's not bad problems. It's just 2 different things. You get to look at 2 different buckets. And I will help you sort. That is what I do in coaching. But we're already after 10 minutes, so I want to wrap this up. If you have not started sorting, if you have not figured out how to sort all of your stuff into thyroid or immune, Hashimoto's Decoded is where the whole framework lives. So it's $27, about an hour, a little less, and self-paced. You can get it right now. Head down to the show notes and click on the link for Hashimoto's Decoded, thyroid or immune. And once you go through that, if you feel like you just need a one-off call just to talk with me and pick my brain, like, oh, I have a question about this one, does it go into both buckets? You can schedule a one-time coaching call, or you can sign up for the full 6 sessions. Whatever works for you. I want you to be able to feel like yourself again. I want you to be able to sort through everything and have the answers that you're looking for. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please discuss any changes with your trusted healthcare provider. To take your next step, join our school community and explore the courses available there. You do not have to figure your health out alone. So that is school, SKOOL.com, and it is the Health with Hashimoto's community. I'll see you next time on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast.